Welcome to the day Facebook died. It's Tuesday, some date. I don't even know what the date is today. Who cares? And it's not 9 o'clock. It's not 10 o'clock yet. I was going to say it's like 8:45. It's 10:45 and I've only just walked out into the workshop, shifted the Z32 out of the way, pushed the BMW back. I'm about to put the March, about to put that down. No, I'm not going to put it to sleep. I'm going to put it on the ground so we can work on it. Let's have a look at what we're up to. Look, Mum, no hands. How am I holding the camera? I've got one hand on that. And clearly I've got another hand on workshop safety gleam. Jeebus. So, this is going to take ages. Should we speed this bit up? Nah, you'll be right. It's coming down. You've got to make sure you're not going to hit anything. Oh, let's do that. You can't just... Workshop safety. Don't do silly things like lowering hoists down with your knee. Make sure that the path is clear for the hoist. This workshop safety presentation was brought to you by Mr. Hypocritical. Right. Today I'm going to make a phone call to Motorsport New Zealand and see where we got to with the chat on the seat. This could potentially crash down because there's only a couple of bolts very loosely holding the workshop safety again. That's only just got 2 loose bolts and hinges so it wouldn't fall off what was on the hoist in the air overnight. I want to raise up these platforms that are on the floor, that one there and that one over there, so I can lift the seat brackets up so we can lower the seat in the brackets so it doesn't wobble around as much. There we go. See, these are genuine OMP aluminium seat brackets, but when you have the seat right up at the very top like that, there's, I don't know if you can see that, there's a good amount of wobble, and that doesn't actually improve a heck of a lot when you put the bolts in the bottom and actually physically bolt it in there properly. Now Racetech, our locally manufactured seats, they have brackets that come off the back of the seats on some models and go onto the harness bars. And of course that will virtually eliminate any possibility of this. And so I'm trying to push it the other way, but it just wants to rock backwards and forwards. The sideways movement, that you can see that surely. So phone call made to Devon, Motorsport New Zealand. It's okay to do what I want to do with the seat, but there is paperwork involved. No be cutting, no cut, roll cage, leave alone, don't cut unless you do the paperwork. So that's fine. That pretty much, that stuff on the main hoop, the main diagonal, which you might just be able to see through the 2 windows and the reflections and stuff. Main diagonal and the harness bars. Might as well go there and do that. Do the paperwork all in one thing. Everybody happy, car better, car safer, stronger. It's not going to be lighter. It's actually going to be heavier. And the C of G is actually going to go up a little bit. And that's fine. We get a better inlet plenum on there and we get better harness angles, so that's good. We can't do that until we get the Z32 out of the way, because really I'm going to have to take the engine gearbox out and all that stuff, and that all needs to go somewhere while I'm doing that, and it's not going to happen in a day. Can't do it in a day, no chance at all. So we've got to get the Z32 fixed, but the good news is the parts are there for that today, so I can go and collect those at some point. We're not going to put them on couriers and lose them. We'll have the couriers shut down so they can't deliver. Yes, I love working on the floor under these things on axle stands. So, groveling around under here, these are a great system, and I use that term extremely sarcastically. So I've changed that one side there. That's a saga in itself. So they have a ball joint in the knuckle, and typically the steering rod end, I'm going to call it, this big cast piece that you can see here, that seizes onto that ball joint quite well, and it's virtually impossible to get that off without actually putting stress on the ball joint, which then stretches that and flogs that out. So that's cool. That was loose beforehand, I checked it. So remember in the previous video I did discuss that normally the ball joints are gone. Rack ends were gone, so that one's changed. New ball joints ordered. This one, I can't undo it. I can't undo it because Nissan, in their infinite wisdom, put a thread on each end of the rack, and there's nothing through the rack to stop the rack itself, the slidey pistony bit, from turning. So the typical scenario is one end will come undone, which was this one, so that's fine. You get that undone and you put the new one on, and then you can't undo the other end, because if you try and undo the other end, this end just undoes, and then you're just fighting yourself. So it's a really good system. I love it. Yeah, there's tricks for doing it, and I have to do those, but so I started on what I called the trick to undoing this, and then I thought, if I don't show you, I'm going to have 5,000 Z32 experts, and I use that term loosely, thinking I'm a moron and that I don't know the trick, and that they're going to tell me. And even if I show you this, they're going to say that that's not how you do it. But anyway, remove this from there. That screws into there, right? Take note of the distances and all that. Take that off. That exposes the flat on the end of the piston, I'm going to call it, or rack, whatever you want to call it. Then you can hold that with an appropriate adjustable nut for destroyer. You know what I was going to say, but I'm not going to say it because you can't say those things on your YouTube channel if you want your money for your advertising, and we got to pay for our drinks somehow. Hold that like that. Put your spanner on the other end, and undo it. And obviously I need two hands, so that's not going to happen while I'm holding the camera for you. That's how you get the other end undone. And I'm showing you so that no one comes to me to ask me to do it, because I don't like doing it. There you go. Grumpy. Done. No split pins, because ball joints are coming out. So rack ends are done, at least. Haven't put a cable tie or the tie wire or whatever on those boots, because we're taking things apart to do other things. So just in case we end up needing to whatever, spin this out of that or whatever. So I haven't done those just yet. It's still morning, so I'm going to put this on the ground, get it outside again, out of our way, and carry on with the march. 2 seconds later it starts raining. It's not raining a lot, it's raining enough I don't want to go outside. This is one of those cars that doesn't want to leave. Turns up and then it just stays here. It's almost the same colour as the Gloria too. I wonder if that's got something to do with it. That is starting to take shape. These things chew up time. Heaps and heaps of time. This is why this sort of thing has not been done in the past. It's a bit after 3 o'clock now. Given I spent maybe 5 minutes on it this morning, effectively stopped, worked on that Z32 and came back to it, so 2 hours, 3 hours to get to here. But there's at least that to finish it off. From that point we've still got to put the seat doubler plates onto here. Might actually put them underneath, because really we're not worried about it crushing down. That's fine, it'll be good. It's tearing out that way, so the plate underneath is going to be stronger than on the top. Good theory? Not sure. Yeah, some lightning holes in the areas that aren't really doing a lot as far as strength. So, they're effectively stiffening holes as well. So you remove weight but increase the stiffness of the item structure. Cool, right, I'm going to weld that. That's going to probably take the rest of the afternoon, because I'm going to weld all along both sides. And I'll around the top on both ends and weld the double plates onto there or underneath. I'll make up my mind. Cold drink time. Make up my mind while I'm doing that. The welding has started. Quite obviously I'm putting the plates on the top now. I have decided, so there's a little bit of a the ruler's in the way now. Where is it? There. There's a bit of a tack there. So put that ruler on the top of that, flat like that. It's far too hard to measure. It's very, very hard to even put the ruler anywhere near there while holding the phone for you, but I have measured that, and where that says 55mm, very poor English there, writing, but that says 55mm and the arrow points upwards, and when you measure from the bottom of that ruler, of course, because that's on the top of that, if you know what I mean, it just happens to be 55mm. So this end is at the right angle compared to that, compared to the floor. Now it's not flat to the floor, so you can't just line it up with the sill. You can see, you might be able to see it from here. They've tapered the seat rails downhill, so that one was thinner than this one. Whatever, that's what factories do. So I'll do the same thing at this end. I'll check it first before I tack it, that is lining up with that, but 55mm higher. And I'll tack it, double check it again once it's all done. The big long weld all the way along there on both sides. This side will be not too bad, that side's going to be painful. That's not going to be much fun. It looks like it's really easy to do because it's right out in the open and everything, but I'm going to be upside down to do that basically and weld along there. And I don't make weld things like this, I just don't like it. I take everything pretty much. Did I say that was going to take all afternoon? It did, but we're good. It's all 100% welded up. There's a couple of little bits that just decided to be a little bit difficult. Don't look 100% perfect, but the bulk of it's pretty good. It's certainly up to the task that it needs to be. Securing that to that. And as they say, that ain't going anywhere. That's probably stronger than what was in there in the original setup. So now we've just got to put these plates on. So what I'll do there, because I've got my chunk of steel on the other side there, see my captivated nut, and that's probably not as light as it could be, but that needs to be strong, right? We don't want to muck around with that. It's got to be sturdy. So I'm just going to drill a hole in there that'll fit that and allow for some adjustment. Same on the other side there, and then we'll measure from the sill, which is parallel to the other sill. They don't taper in and out or anything silly like that, so that's handy. We measure from there to that one. I couldn't reach there because my hand was under the harness bar, so I was trying to point to fail. So measure this point, that gives us that distance. Same with this other one, and then we've got to make sure we're actually square, make sure the whole lot's not like this, something silly. Good, and then we've got to spend all day doing this one tomorrow. No, we're not, because something's turned up for the BMW. Yay! Just about finished. There's one weld left to do. Across there, it's going to be a bit of a pain. It's quite a wide gap to fill in, so won't be doing that tonight, but all this has come up relatively okay. It's not 100% consistent, is it? But it's definitely functional. I've just been given the dinner is ready in 5 and I've got to pack everything away, so that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and all that sort of carry on. Okay, cheers, bye.